In fact, Katherine Deves, let me interrupt, Treasurer. Katherine Deves herself has said that some of her language was inappropriate before she went into politics. She's apologised. Others, like your Premier Dominic Perrottet and the Prime Minister Scott Morrison, have accepted too that she used some very, very ill-chosen language, and she's apologised for it, moving on. Everybody's in agreement about that, but you're saying because of that, she should be disendorsed as a candidate. So you are joining the Green Left pylon against a Liberal candidate.
Let me be very clear, Chris. This was an apology that came because it was called out by the media. This is not a one-off drunken Twitter rant. This is not an ill-placed comment 30 years ago at university. These are consistent references that have been made over a long period of time and recently. And Chris, quite frankly, I don't think that has a place in Australian public discourse. We can have these debates and we should have them robustly, but there is a line, and I think hate speech or hurtful speech is inappropriate in our public discourse. We can be better than that. You and I are having a very robust discussion here, Chris, and that's what we want in our democracy. But there are ways to carry it out, and I'm saying I don't think the way that individual carried out this debate was appropriate or helpful in the public discourse.
It's a gross exaggeration to call it hate speech. Let me read you what Rachel Wong says. She's the CEO of Women's Forum about the way women are cancelled in debates like this. She says the vicious demonisation of Warringah Liberal candidate Katherine Deves is the latest attempt to silence women who speak out about the impact of harmful gender policies and practices on women's sex-based rights and the welfare of children. This is exactly what's going on here, isn't it?
No, it's definitely not, Chris. I mean, what you're doing is conflating the issues. I'm saying that the language used by the candidate for Warringah is inappropriate. And I've called that language out. I don't think it has a place in our public discourse. The issues that the candidate is talking about with regard to gender in sports, that's appropriate to have a discussion about, and one that I welcome. We want to make sure that women in sport are able to play safely and fairly, and we need to make sure that there are rules in place to allow that to happen. But that doesn't require invective that is colourful, overblown and completely inappropriate. That's all I'm arguing, Chris.
But all Deves is arguing is that when you talk about these issues publicly, when you argue and advocate for the rights of women and girls in sport the way she has, that you get crushed by a lot of people trying to demonise you. And you're doing exactly that by trying to have her disendorsed.
No, I won't let you frame it in that fashion. That's not what I'm doing at all. I want more people arguing for women in our society, whether it be in sport or other things.
Well, it's very easy to solve this then.
Gender target for New South Wales government boards, Chris.
It's very easy to stop me framing it like this if you just say that she used inappropriate language, she's apologised it, and then you support her being the Liberal candidate for Warringah. Withdraw your call for her to be disendorsed.
Well, Chris, let me be very clear to you. I've made my position clear. The Prime Minister has made his position clear. And now it's up to the people of Warringah to make their decision on whether they think these comments are appropriate.
Well, what about another candidate, a male candidate who's been caught out with a whole lot of social media posts that are very sexist? They include naked women and the like. And he says, for instance, that size doesn't matter when you have 130 kilograms pushing it. Do you think that sort of comment is appropriate for someone to be endorsed as a candidate in the federal election?
No, I think it's disgusting. I think it has no place in our public discourse, and I think it should be called out equally. I hope the Labor Party will take action against that candidate.
Yeah, that's a comment. That's a comment. Hang on a second, though. That's a comment made by a male who's of the Labor Party, and you've not been out condemning him and demanding that he be disendorsed. You're more interested in trying to silence and cancel a Liberal Party woman who's fighting for the rights of girls and women.
No, that's absolute rubbish, Chris, and I'm not going to let you get away with framing it that way. This is the first time I've heard about that comment that you've referenced to that gentleman. I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to, I hope the Labor Party will take strong action, but I'm a senior figure in the Liberal Party. I stand by the Liberal Party values. You know, the opening line of our values statement is that we believe in the inalienable rights of all people, not some people, all people. We are the party of of freedom, not the party of intolerance. We are the party of the individual, not the party of bile and bigotry.
But you're being intolerant.
Those principles. So
you're being intolerant. You're trying to steamroll someone out after they've apologised for a comment.
Completely inappropriate in the public discourse, Chris. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem whatsoever with anyone entering into the public debate in a robust way, and that's what we want. We want more people entering into the public discourse. We want people standing up for women or what other issues they're passionate about, but there is one way to do that and there's another. You choose the right way to do that. You don't use this overblown language. You don't invoke these horrific periods in our history to trivialise them, to push your own agenda, and nor do the people that are watching this program. We should call out that language, and we should always have and welcome robust, strong debate about these important topics, Chris, and that's what I'll always continue to do.
How do you feel about so far having caused more trouble for the Liberal Party in this federal election campaign than Anthony Albanese has?
Well, I don't think anyone could match Albo's incompetence when it comes to his performance. And I think we've all seen in the last week exactly why Scott Morrison needs to be returned. So I'll be doing everything I can to make sure that happens. But, you know,
except in Warringah,
go on holidays because there's an election campaign. We're going to, like, this kind of behaviour shouldn't have a role to play in our public discourse, nor in one of the major political parties. I've made my views known. The Prime Minister's made his views known. And now it's up to the people of Warringah to determine what they think about this position.
Matt Kean, thanks for joining us.
Thanks as always, Chris.
Well, the good news out of that, when you listen to Matt Kean, he accepts now that she is the Liberal candidate. She'll stay there and it's up to voters. Might be interesting to have a look at those voting numbers in Warringah on May the 21st, because Katherine Deves certainly has name recognition now like she could never have dreamed of as a first-time candidate. And I think 80% of people or more, as we've shown you with polling, will agree with her stance.